Hey guys, I'm Debbie Stanley. I'm an organizational consultant and the author of the book, The Organized Musician. Last year at South by, I spoke on time management for musicians, and one thing that I heard loud and clear from my audience was that it's really hard not to get psyched out by the constant pressure and work of starting a music career, and then the constant pressure and work, the unrelenting grind of keeping it going. Oh, and somewhere in there, you're also supposed to regularly be able to shift into your creative mind space and make music like you always have, and keep up your creative output in the midst of all of the administrative work, and setting aside the sometimes seemingly unending rejection. So that's what I've got for you this year. I want to talk about how you stay positive, focused, motivated, how you stay psyched up and don't get psyched out by the realities of a career as an independent musician. Since last year, I've started working with a company called Damaris Entertainment, which is a talent buying and concert and event production company. And so in that, I've gotten to work with many more musicians, and I've seen it proven over and over that it is possible to stay positive, to persist in the face of a lot of defeat, right? We know what it's like to send booking pitches, to try to get press coverage, to try to get the attention of people on social media. That's all part of the harsh reality of being an independent musician. And yet I see people who are consistently succeeding at it year after year, and they're staying psyched up. And I've seen some of the habits that they have that help them to do that. So even in an industry that's slow to deliver rewards for your effort, you do have a lot of peers who are able to keep the right mindset and to keep themselves going. It's not even all that rare, really. And the best part is that you can learn it. These are habits that you can learn, and these are the habits that I see in people who are succeeding every day, and they're not difficult once you know what they are. And yes, these are habits. I want to be clear. These are behaviors. These are not personality traits that you're either born with or not. You don't have to be a naturally positive person to avoid falling prey to the negative. It's not just that some people are immune to that. There are people who work very intentionally to keep themselves psyched up. And that's what I want to help you to learn how to do too. So I've got techniques for you. These are practical, tactical techniques, not just affirmations that tell you what you should think or do, but not how. Affirmations are great feel-good reminders once you have a plan in place. And I'm going to show you some of my favorite affirmations on my walls at the end of this video. But most people need more than affirmations to stay optimistic. So that's what I've got for you this year. So if that sounds good, please vote for my session. It's called Psyched Up, Not Psyched Out. And I'll see you once again in Austin for South by 2018. Okay, I promised that I'd show you the affirmations that I have on my walls here in my office. So here we go. There are actually quite a few of them. Oh, and my cat is meowing in the background. She has something to say too. So first we have this one. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. I really like this because it normalizes being afraid and doing it anyway. I think that's a really valuable thing for all of us to remember. So that's the first one. This is a newer thing. It's kind of long. I'll just let you read it. But this one just makes me happy. I love the Dalai Lama. I just bought a painting of the Dalai Lama by Ed Hamill, who is a fantastic musician, independent musician, who is an example of continuing on year after year after year after year. And Ed Hamill makes these really cool paintings. So I have a Dalai Lama from him. And here's a quote from the actual Dalai Lama. So it's nice. I read that when I want to just feel good about the world and people. And then this big poster here is Muhammad Ali. And so he wasn't very touchy-feely about this stuff. He said, I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of your life as a champion. That's what I look at when I'm like literally in pain with a headache or my back is killing me or something. And I am reminding myself that I have very specific goals. I want to achieve them, and it takes incremental work to do that. And so a little bit of pain now is going to be worth it for the big picture. This one is another one that you might want to look up, the Desiderata. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Google it. It's kind of neat. It's old style language, but it's about being peaceful. And so this one I find really calming. I would encourage you to look that up. It came from, if this is to be trusted, it came from an old church, very, very old church in Baltimore. Then we have Bruce Lee, who said, knowing is not enough, we must apply, which is what we're going to do in this session, if you choose it. Willing is not enough, we must do. Same thing. It's not about just what you think, it's about how you take action and how you stay focused, eyes on the prize. Your words and your behaviors go together, and so that's what I'm hoping we're going to get to talk about this year at South by. This one is a jolt of reality. And it's so true. We either make ourselves miserable or we make ourselves strong. The amount of work is the same. It takes a lot of work to stay miserable, right? So if you're going to go to all that trouble, why not make it pay off in the positive? This one is also really relevant to our session. It's not what you look at that matters, it's what you see. People can see two different situations as either an opportunity or crushing defeat. We're going to talk about the habit of changing how you interpret the same set of facts and looking at being able to very easily access the positive in that same set of facts that previously might have just defeated you. And then finally, we have my boy Eminem. I'm from Detroit, and his story is inspiring to me. He came from abject poverty, as we all know his story. But the really impressive thing, and what shows in this movie, it's one of my favorite movies, is how he went against everything that his society was telling him that he could do. He went against everything that his culture and the cultures that he was around that weren't even his own. He went against pretty much everything that anybody told him that he could do, and threw up two middle fingers and said, I'm going to do it anyway. And we all know the outcome. He definitely did it anyway. So he's the one that I look at when I feel like I need to be defiant and say, oh yeah, hold my coffee and watch this. All right, so that's a tour of my affirmations, and hopefully y'all will choose my session, and I'll see you at South by next year. Boom.